The chamber of the Galactic Council was an architectural marvel, an expanse of shimmering crystal and light, suspended above the artificial atmosphere of Nexus Prime. Delegates from 82 species filled their designated seats, their unique forms a vivid tableau of galactic diversity. But the air was far from harmonious. Whispers hummed like static as Captain Elise Danner stepped onto the central platform, her sharp military uniform contrasting with the flowing robes and ceremonial garb around her. "Captain Danner," High Arbitrator Thalkaran began, his voice resonating through the chamber. His tall, sinewy frame exuded an unsettling calm as his 3 eyes fixed on her. "Your defiance is not just reckless, it is dangerous. Humanity's insistence on independence risks destabilizing the balance we have cultivated for millennia." Elise let the words hang in the air, studying the delegates. Some avoided her gaze, others glared with thinly veiled hostility. Taking a slow breath, she stepped forward, her voice cutting through the murmurs. "Destabilizing? Let me remind this council of one simple fact. Humanity was not invited here to be controlled. We were invited because we earned our place. Your so-called balance is a facade, designed to keep newer civilizations under your thumb." Gasps rippled through the chamber, and Thalkaran's expression tightened. "We offer protection," he countered. "A framework for peace." "Protection?" Elise interrupted, holding up a holodisk. A holographic projection burst into life, displaying schematics of council warships massing near the Sol border. "This is not protection. This is coercion. And humanity will not bow to threats." The chamber exploded into chaos. Delegates shouted over one another in a cacophony of alien tongues. Elise stood her ground, her expression unyielding as Thalkaran rose to his full height, slamming his clawed hand onto his podium. "Enough!" His voice silenced the uproar. "Captain Danner, your actions today jeopardize not only your species but the stability of the entire galaxy. The Council will vote to impose immediate sanctions. Reject this treaty, and you face the consequences alone." Elise's jaw tightened, but she allowed herself a small, defiant smile. "Then humanity stands alone." Back aboard the USS Ascension, Elise exhaled as the heavy blast doors to the council chambers closed behind her. The weight of the confrontation lingered, but there was no time to dwell. She strode toward the bridge, her boots echoing down the polished steel corridors. When she arrived, Commander Jace Morales greeted her with a grim nod. "How bad?" he asked, his tone low. "Sanctions," Elise replied, slipping into her command chair. "And a thinly veiled threat of military action. They're trying to box us in, Jace." Lieutenant Sophia Kareem, the ship's tech officer, looked up from her console. "And the fleet gathering at the Sol border? Any word on that?" Elise's lips pressed into a thin line. "Nothing official, but it's real. We need to confirm their next move." Jace frowned. "Elise, if we push too hard, this could turn into a full-scale war. Are we ready for that?" "We don't have a choice," Elise said firmly. "If we give in now, we set a precedent. Humanity's freedom is not negotiable." Her crew exchanged uneasy glances but nodded. They trusted her, even if the odds seemed insurmountable. "Set a course for the Sol border," Elise ordered. "We need eyes on that fleet." The journey through hyperspace was uneventful, but the tension on the bridge was palpable. Elise spent the hours reviewing intelligence reports, searching for any detail that might give them an edge. The Council's tactics were always shrouded in layers of bureaucracy and diplomacy, but this time, their intent was clear. When they emerged near the Sol border, the sight on the view screen confirmed her worst fears. Dozens of Council warships floated in formation, their angular designs unmistakable. Even at this distance, the fleet's sheer scale was staggering. "Scan the area," Elise said, her voice calm but steely. Sophia's fingers flew over her console, picking up multiple signatures. "Battlecruisers, frigates, carriers. This isn't just a patrol. It's an invasion force." A murmur ran through the bridge crew. Elise clenched her fists, suppressing a surge of anger. "Open a secure channel to Earth Command," she said. Moments later, a holographic image of Admiral Nathan Briggs appeared. The grizzled leader's face was as hard as the steel-gray uniform he wore. "Captain Danner," he said, his voice clipped. "What's the situation?" "We have confirmation," Elise replied. "The Council fleet is massing at the Sol border. They're preparing for an incursion." Briggs' jaw tightened. "Damn it! We suspected this, but we didn't think they'd move so soon." "They're using the treaty rejection as an excuse," Elise said. "We need to mobilize. Fast." Briggs nodded. "Understood. I'll notify the Defense Council." "What's your next move?" "I'm staying here to gather more intel," Elise said. "If they make a move, I'll be the first to know." "Be careful, Danner," Briggs said. "You're in the lion's den now." "Always am," Elise replied before ending the transmission. As the hours ticked by, the tension aboard the Ascension only grew. Elise stood in the observation deck, staring out at the distant fleet. The stars, once a symbol of endless possibilities, now felt like a battleground. "Couldn't sleep?" Jace's voice broke the silence. He joined her at the viewport, his expression thoughtful. "Not much to sleep over," Elise said. "We're standing on the edge of something big, Jace. If this goes wrong—" "It won't," he said firmly. "We've been through worse." Elise chuckled dryly. "Have we? Because I don't remember facing down an armada bent on subjugating humanity." Jace smirked. "Okay, fair point. But you're not in this alone. We've got your back." "Thanks," she said softly. Before either could say more, Sophia's voice crackled over the comm. "Captain, you need to see this." Elise and Jace hurried back to the bridge, where Sophia pointed to her console. "They're moving," she said. "A detachment of ships is breaking off, heading toward Earth." Elise's stomach twisted. "How long until they reach our outer defenses?" "Hours," Sophia replied. "Send the data to Earth Command," Elise ordered. "And prepare the ship for stealth recon. We're not letting them make this move unnoticed." As the crew sprang into action, Elise's resolve hardened. The Council thought humanity could be intimidated, manipulated, controlled. They were wrong. "Let's show them what standing alone really means," she said, her voice cutting through the tension like a blade. And with that, the USS Ascension disappeared into the void, ready to face whatever lay ahead. The USS Ascension emerged from the swirling blues of hyperspace into the relative calm of a desolate star system. A single station, Nexus Gamma, floated in orbit around a lifeless moon, its flickering lights betraying its age and neglect. It was a far cry from the gleaming Nexus Prime where Elise Danner had faced the Galactic Council just days before. "Status?" Elise asked as she stepped onto the bridge. Lieutenant Sophia Kareem glanced up from her console. "No signs of immediate pursuit. Long-range scans show minimal activity, but the Council fleet is holding position near the Sol border. No sign of their next move yet." "Good," Elise said, though unease churned in her gut. "Keep us cloaked. We'll approach the station and gather whatever intel we can." Docking at Nexus Gamma was less a technical challenge and more an exercise in patience. The station's outdated systems groaned under the weight of the Ascension's handshake protocols. Finally, the docking clamps engaged with a metallic thunk. Elise, flanked by Commander Jace Morales and Sophia, stepped into the station's dim corridors. The air smelled of ozone and recycled filtration, and the faint hum of machinery echoed in the distance. The few occupants, traders, smugglers, and mercenaries, glanced up briefly before returning to their business. "Keep your guard up," Elise murmured. "We're not here to make friends." At a dingy bar near the station's core, they found their lead, a trader named Vrex, whose reputation for acquiring sensitive information was well known in the fringe systems. He was a wiry alien with translucent skin and 3 thin tendrils that twitched as Elise approached. "Captain Danner," Vrex said, his voice smooth but wary. "To what do I owe the honor of hosting humanity's most infamous rebel?" "Cut the flattery, Vrex," Elise said, sliding into the booth across from him. Jace and Sophia stood close, scanning the room for threats. "I need information. And I hear you're the one to talk to." Rex's tendrils curled inward. Information isn't cheap. Especially when dealing with the Galactic Council's favorite scapegoat. Elise leaned forward, her tone sharp. This isn't a negotiation. I know the Council's been moving assets through this sector. I need details, locations, frequencies, anything you've got. Rex hesitated, then tapped his clawed fingers against the table. There's been chatter. Council warships rendezvousing with unconventional allies. Mercenaries. Not the usual sorts. These ones are brutal. Quiet. Expensive. Names? Elise pressed. The Havoc Syndicate, Rex said. They've been spotted moving through the Nexus corridor. Word is they're gearing up for something big. Sophia frowned. The Havoc Syndicate? They're practically a myth. Not a myth, Rex corrected. Just very good at staying off the grid. If they're involved, the Council's playing a dangerous game. Elise's mind raced. Mercenaries like the Havoc Syndicate weren't brought in for routine operations. This was a calculated escalation. Coordinates? She asked. Rex hesitated again, then slid a data chip across the table. This is all I've got. But be careful, Captain. The Syndicate doesn't leave witnesses. Elise pocketed the chip and stood. Thanks for the warning. As they left the bar, Jace spoke in a low voice. You trust him? Not even a little, Elise replied. But we don't have the luxury of ignoring leads. Back aboard the Ascension, Sophia decrypted the data chip while Elise and Jace watched. A map of the sector appeared on the holodisplay, marked with several points of interest. These coordinates, Sophia muttered, zooming in. One of them is dangerously close to the Sol border. If the Syndicate's operating there, it could explain why the Council fleet hasn't moved. They're waiting for reinforcements. Or a diversion, Jace added grimly. Elise nodded. Either way, we need to confirm it. If the Council's using mercenaries to stage an attack, it changes everything. Captain, Sophia said, hesitating. If we get caught, this will look like an act of aggression. The Council will spin it as humanity provoking them. They'll spin it however they want, Elise replied. Our job is to uncover the truth. The Ascension entered stealth mode as it approached the Syndicate's suspected location. The ship's systems hummed with suppressed energy, its cloaking technology rendering it invisible to most scanners. Entering target area, Sophia reported. Picking up faint energy signatures. Looks like a small fleet. Put it on screen, Elise said. The view screen displayed a collection of ships, their designs jagged and asymmetrical. They hovered near an asteroid field, moving with eerie precision. That's the Havoc Syndicate, Jace said. No doubt about it. Scan their comms, Elise ordered. Sophia's hands moved deftly over her console. Intercepting now. Stand by. A series of garbled transmissions filled the bridge, growing clearer as Sophia fine-tuned the signal. Coordinates confirmed. Engage targets on command. Priority 1, disable planetary defenses. Elise's heart sank. This was no routine operation, it was a coordinated assault on Earth's defenses. Transmit this to Earth Command immediately, she said. Captain, Sophia interjected, her voice tight. We've been detected. The bridge lights dimmed as warning sirens blared. How? Jace demanded. The Syndicate must have advanced scanners, Sophia replied, her fingers flying over her console. They're locking weapons. Evasive maneuvers, Elise barked. Prepare for jump. The Ascension veered sharply as enemy ships fired. Blasts of plasma lit up the void, narrowly missing the ship as it wove through the asteroid field. Engines at full power, Jace reported. Jump coordinates locked. Do it, Elise shouted. The stars stretched into lines as the Ascension entered hyperspace, escaping the Syndicate's grasp. In the quiet aftermath, Elise stood on the bridge, her hands gripping the rail. Damage report? Minor, Jace said. But we can't afford many more close calls like that. Elise nodded. What about the transmission? Sent, Sophia replied. Earth Command has everything we intercepted. Elise exhaled, tension still coiled in her chest. Good. But this isn't over. The Council's playing with fire, and they're about to get burned. As the ascension sped toward the Sol border, Elise's resolve hardened. The evidence was damning, but it wouldn't mean anything if humanity wasn't ready to act. She only hoped they'd have the strength to face what was coming. The ascension dropped out of hyperspace into the outskirts of the Sol system, the familiar expanse of humanity's home territory spread out before them. Yet, it didn't feel like home. Not with what Elise Danner knew was coming. Status report, Elise called, her voice sharp. Lieutenant Sophia Karim's fingers danced over her console. We're clear for now, but the Syndicate fleet is on the move. Earth Command has acknowledged receipt of the transmission, but they're requesting additional intel. Typical bureaucracy, Commander Jace Morales muttered from his station. By the time they act, it'll be too late. Elise clenched her jaw. We don't have time to argue with them. If Earth Command won't move, we will. Patch me through to Admiral Briggs. Admiral Nathan Briggs' hologram materialized on the bridge, his expression grim as ever. Captain Danner, he said without preamble. Your report was troubling. Troubling doesn't cover it, Admiral, Elise replied. The Syndicate is working with the Council. They're targeting our planetary defenses, likely as a prelude to invasion. We need to mobilize now. Briggs leaned forward, his piercing gaze unwavering. And you're certain of this alliance? The Council's always preferred to act through diplomacy, or at least pretend to. Not this time, Elise said. They're using mercenaries to do their dirty work. We've intercepted their comms. They're moving fast, Admiral, and if we don't meet them head-on, they'll tear through our outer defenses before we can react. Briggs exhaled heavily. The Defense Council is hesitant. They don't want to escalate unless absolutely necessary. Escalate? Elise's tone was sharp. With all due respect, sir, this is escalation. If we wait for them to fire the first shot, it'll be too late. Let me take the Ascension to intercept the Syndicate fleet. Briggs hesitated. It was a rare crack in his usual stoic demeanor. Very well. But you're on your own, Danner. We can't commit the full fleet without confirmation of direct Council involvement. Understood, Elise said, though her gut twisted at the words. We'll hold the line, Admiral. Good luck, Captain. Briggs' hologram faded. The Ascension moved swiftly, cutting through the void like a blade. The Syndicate fleet's position was clear now, thanks to the intercepted comms. They were heading straight for Earth's orbital defense stations, a critical first step in any invasion plan. Enemy ships within scanning range, Sophia reported. On screen, Elise ordered. The view screen flickered to life, revealing the Syndicate fleet, a jagged armada of black and red ships, their designs more predatory than practical. That's a lot of firepower, Jace muttered. Elise's mind raced. The Syndicate's strength was undeniable, but they weren't invincible. If they could disrupt their formation or disable key ships, it might buy Earth the time it needed. Open a channel, she said. Channel open, Sophia confirmed. This is Captain Elise Danner of the USS Ascension. Elise began, her tone firm. You are in violation of Sol sector sovereignty. Turn back now, or face the consequences. The response was immediate and chilling. A low, guttural laugh echoed over the comms before a gravelly voice spoke. Captain Danner, the voice drawled. How bold of you to challenge us alone. You should know better. Who am I speaking to? Elise demanded. Name's irrelevant, the voice replied. What matters is that humanity's time in the stars is over. Stand down, or you'll be the first to burn. Elise's expression hardened. You've made your intentions clear. No deals. No mercy. The comms cut off, and the bridge fell silent. Battle stations, Elise said calmly. Sophia, identify their command ship. Target locked, Sophia replied. It's heavily shielded, but if we can get through, it'll cripple their coordination. Good. Jace, bring us in close. We'll use the asteroid field for cover. The Ascension darted into the nearby asteroid belt, weaving between the massive rocks with precision. The Syndicate ships gave chase, their weapons firing indiscriminately, but the asteroids provided a natural shield. Target within firing range, Jace reported. Charge the rail cannon, Elise ordered. We'll hit them hard and fast. The bridge hummed with tension as the rail cannon powered up, its energy signature visible even on the view screen. Firing in 3, 2, 1. A blinding streak of light shot from the Ascension, slamming into the Syndicate's command ship. The impact sent a ripple through the enemy fleet as smaller ships scrambled to regroup. Direct hit, Sophia said, her voice triumphant. Their shields are down. Launch torpedoes, Elise commanded. The Ascension unleashed a volley of torpedoes, each one finding its mark. Explosions blossomed across the command ship, leaving it a smoldering wreck. Enemy fleet is breaking formation, Sophia reported. Good, Elise said. Let's keep them scattered. Focus on their engines, leave them stranded. For hours, the battle raged. The Ascension danced through the chaos, its smaller size and advanced systems giving it an edge against the Syndicate's brute force. Elise's crew worked in perfect synchronization, their every move calculated and precise. Captain, Sophia said suddenly. Incoming transmission, from Earth Command. Put it through, Elise said, her voice tight. Admiral Briggs' face appeared on the screen. Danner, reinforcements are en route, he said. You've bought us the time we needed. Well done. Elise nodded, relief flickering across her features. We're holding for now, but the Syndicate won't back down easily. Hold your position, Briggs said. We'll be there soon. The transmission ended, and Elise turned back to her crew. You heard him, she said. Let's make sure there's something left to save. As the first wave of Earth's fleet arrived, the tide of the battle shifted. The Syndicate, now outnumbered and outmaneuvered, began to retreat. The Ascension remained at the forefront, its presence a symbol of humanity's resilience. When the last Syndicate ship vanished into hyperspace, the crew erupted into cheers. Elise allowed herself a small smile but remained focused. This isn't over, she said quietly. Jace stepped up beside her. No, but we've shown them we won't go down without a fight. Elise nodded. And they'll think twice before underestimating us again. As the Ascension turned back toward Earth, the stars seemed just a little brighter. Humanity's fight for freedom was far from over, but for now, they had won a critical victory. And Elise Danner would make sure they were ready for whatever came next.